Welcome everyone to tonight's class. For those that do not know me, I'm Tashina Gonzalez and I'm a holistic wellness coach, but I also work in the automotive industry. So I'm in a hotel tonight because I got to go into a plant on the other side of my state. But I have been into holistic wellness for about 6 years now, and I have some particular services that I provide, but I just love collaborating with other health and wellness experts that have different skill sets that I do. And so I'm so excited for tonight's class and to learn from Joseph as he's going to walk us through his interactive program. So, with that, I am going to turn it over to him and then I'll add a few things on afterwards.
All right. Firstly, hello everyone. Glad you all could make it. Really appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time out their schedule. Tashina, thank you very much. I do appreciate, hooking this up. That way I could use the platform and we could really just have a good time, learn a little bit, and also take the time to get to know one another for those who don't know each other. Uh, so one of the most important things I'm going to say today is in the comments, I have my Instagram. I have my number and stuff too, but my Instagram, Tashina will put hers there. Why? There will be a raffle. So free stuff. There you go. There will be three or four items that are given away. I'm not going to say what it is. It's a surprise, but I'm sure you will like it. So go ahead and look at those Instagrams. What we want you to do is follow Tashina and myself, and also put a comment in there, just kind of talking about what we talked about today, something that caught your attention, and then tag us in there. Now, if you don't know exactly how to do that, ask someone between the ages of 10 and 20, and they'll be able to help you out. Okay. And there will be bad jokes like that for the entirety of my section. So here we go. Um, First thing, the only rule. A lot of y'all have heard me talk about it. The, in quotes, TAG, the only rule training 101. Train hard, hydrate, eat smart. Again, is it that simple? Maybe we'll find out. But THE, the only rule. Train hard, hydrate, and eat smart. I need to ask myself this daily throughout the day. This is something just really quick I can go to see, am I missing any of these? If I am, I may not see the results that I'm looking for. So I want to make sure that I ask myself to train hard, hydrate, and eat smart. This is a daily thing that we want to look forward to. Now let's go a little bit deeper. That was easy. And FYI, I am getting that copywritten. So don't try to use that or put it on the shirt or anything like that. There will be shirts coming soon. I'll make sure that I get those out to you all as well. Now, let's dive into something a little bit more important. We are Joseph. Put my phone down because I'm going to be here for a second. We are Joseph. The explanation behind that is this. I'm Joseph. I am Joseph, but alone, I'm very weak. And I'm okay at admitting that. I'm a weak man. That's fine. But let me kind of explain that to you. You may not even know that all of you all are here. You're a part of We Are Joseph right now, because I take it upon myself to utilize each experience, each person. Everybody has value. I could take something from each experience, each person, to help myself, to lift myself up, to do better, to become a better person. And that's the kind of the concept of We Are Joseph. So I only see a couple of you on the screen because of the way the screen is set up right now. But again, it will be We Are Randall, We Are Marvella, We Are Siobhan or Joe or Shirley. This is the concept. What's my outlook on life? Am I looking for better? Am I looking for the best in myself and others and trying to collaborate with them? Am I holding myself accountable? Are they holding me accountable? And this isn't just for training, which it does play a huge part in training, but this is also just for life in itself. And as we go through this, we'll see how these things that we talk about specifically aren't just about training. They aren't about health and wellness. These are life skills that we apply to our lives that help out with wellness, health, training, all these different things that we are trying to accomplish. So a little bit further, accountability. Do I hold myself accountable? That's kind of a hard question because a lot of times I don't, but I have to work on that. I have to be honest with myself, clearly looking at myself in the mirror as I see myself in this TV while I'm talking to you all, and look at myself as a person I truly am, a person that needs help. Okay. So I need to hold myself accountable. I need to learn how to tell myself no. I need to make sure I'm doing everything I can to use self control in the things that I eat, the things that I do in life in general. My friends, my associates, the people that I'm around, my family members. Do I encourage them to hold me accountable? Or do I prefer to be around those who kind of, shrug it off, not really that concerned? Well, let's tune right into training. If I am around people that, again, are not in the lifestyle per se, that may make it more difficult for me. Not saying like, oh, I have to get rid of those friends. No, that doesn't make that much sense. But I do want to make sure that I have people around me that uh, are can influence me to do better. They'll encourage me to work out. Hey, have you done this or have you done that? And maybe not even always asking, just from their actions. Oh yeah, I went and hiking this weekend. I went and did this activity, or I ate this particular meal. I didn't know it was going to be this healthy, but it was super tasty as well. All of these conversations in this type of arena can uplift me for sure. So accountability, self-control, these are things that I definitely want to look into as I start or continue on this journey. Here's a big one. If I asked you what was more important, work or passion, being passionate towards something, or work versus passion. Let's start thinking about that. A lot of people would reason, well, if I'm passionate, you can't beat that. I'm gung ho. I'm ready to go. It's like I'm passionate. I feel enthused to do this. I agree, and that's good. But maybe we need to adjust that thinking. Um, I'm passionate. The fire is burning. I'm ready to go. But what about when the fire isn't burning? What about when the passion is running a little slower? It's a little lethargic. It was a roaring fire. Now it's a flicker. That's the problem. When I start talking about, well, I'm passionate, that's fine. But has anybody ever said, when it comes to work, looking at something as work, your job, most of y'all, pretty sure all of y'all have some type of work that you engage in. Do you ever think, you know what, I'm not doing any work, period, ever? You don't say that because you want to live in a house or an apartment. You don't want to be homeless. And that's how serious it is. That's how we look at work. It might have a negative connotation sometimes, but we look at it as a responsibility, as something we have to do. So now let's take that on into things in our lives, such as training, eating right. See, I look at that as work, not as a passion. Passions, they flicker out or they go up and down with my emotions. This is work to me, to where I have to eat right. I have to do my training. I have to do these things. These are necessities. They're needed. So I say, let's look at it as far as work. So let's get some work done. Moving forward comes the topic knowledge and know-how versus application. Knowledge and know-how versus application. So here's some, might be silly to you, but really think about it. And some of you have heard it before. We're going to tie it all in. There are 3 frogs on the log. 2 frogs decide to jump off the log. How many frogs are left on the log? Now, I kind of want to go into the interactive part, but we're not going to dive in just yet. So again, there are 3 frogs on the log. 2 frogs decide to jump off the log. How many frogs are left on the log? Well, it could be argued that, well, of course, there's 1 frog. It's 3, 2, 2 decide to jump off. Well, I beg to differ, and this is why. Let's go back into knowledge and know-how and application of. Well, I've read books. I've been taught how to train. I've gone to school. I talk to people who are nutritionists. I do this. I've learned this stuff. Okay, well, that's good. That's commendable. But what about the application side of it? We have the knowledge and we know we're adults. We know a lot of things. But what about the application side of it? Three frogs on the log, two decide to jump off. How many frogs are left on the log? There are three frogs left on the log because they only decided to jump off. Life is not about just decision making. Life is about doing. Life is about the application of. So we want to really keep that in mind in life in general, but also as we discuss health and wellness, fitness, exercise and nutrition plans, all of these things tie in. Before we exit from this particular topic, I'm going to throw this out there and think about this. Tell me how you can kind of cut a light off. Think about the concept of that. How can you kind of cut a light switch off? So think about that. We'll get back to that. All right. So now let's kind of open it up a little bit. I saw at the beginning when Tashina was trying to kind of get people to communicate, it was kind of quiet. We need to do some talking now, because we're talking about lifestyle change, and the question is how. And I wanted to bring up that it's not, if it's necessary. I'm not even asking that question. Lifestyle change, how? Not lifestyle change, if it's necessary. It is. If you want to make some changes, it has to be a lifestyle change. There is no other way. How do I do that though? Some of these things sound cool. They sound easy said than done, all this stuff, but how do I actually do it? That's why I want to open it up now. And whatever is on your mind, whatever you want to say, whatever questions you have, I'm going to do my best to answer those questions, to the best of my ability. So I would appreciate if you take yourself off mute. And I'll actually change this so I can maybe see a group of y'all. Let's see what happens when I do this. And whether it's take yourself off mute or a hand or whatever, however you want to communicate. And let's see about getting some questions answered. Now, the thing about this is if y'all don't say anything, that means I have to just ramble on and I have to ask my own questions and answer them as well. And ramble, I'll do that. So, so instead of doing that, seriously, it's like, what difficulties are you seeing in life, to where that lifestyle change it seems a lot bigger than it should be. Hey, Troy, what's going on, my friend? What do you have there? Or Beverly?
Hey, Joseph. Yeah, so one of my biggest questions, right, is sometimes we get so busy throughout life, and I have almost every juicer blender you can think of, but the problem is the time to and also the cleaning of the juicer that drives me nuts. So my question is, how do you manage your day to where and maybe all of us can learn from this, like how do you manage your day to where you're able to eat healthy and grab a healthy snack even though you're so busy throughout the day? Because that's where I usually go to Chick-fil-A or go to Smoothie King or something like that. So maybe you can help. That's my question.
Okay, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very valid question. Firstly, because who doesn't like Chick-fil-A? Anyway, that's another conversation. Um, Firstly, I plan things out, especially at the beginning. Even right now, I've been doing this for years. I still plan. I plan ahead, so I have to plan ahead. I have to be an adult and not buy things and put them in my cupboard, my refrigerator, my cabinets, etc., saying, oh, I'll just nibble on that. Or I really won't eat that. It's a special occasion. Every day is a special occasion. So that means I'm going to eat it whenever I feel like it. That's me being honest. So don't purchase the things that aren't on your dietary plan. You make the plans. Juicing, I'm going to stay on that for a second. Juicing. I don't like juicing. I love juicing. I don't like juicing. The act of making it, that's when We Are Joseph comes into play. I have a couple of friends who actually do juicing either for themselves or for business. We work something out on that end. I have a loving mother and a sister by the name of Charlotte Moore that's on here, and they juice and team up and juice, and I dive in on that. I do. Besides that, a lot of times I'll go buy it. Why? Because of I have to think about time management versus money. This is one of those things. And do I truly have the time to juice with a full schedule, like juice and cleaning and all those other things? A lot of times I don't. There's only so many hours in the day I have to rest, I have a lot of work I have to do. Troy, you're always moving and grooving. And I know a few of y'all move and groove a lot throughout the day. This is being realistic. But the decision is, do I really want juice? If the answer is yes, make that adjustment and go buy it. You can afford it. Oh, well, it's expensive. Well, I'm pretty sure we all spend money on things we choose to. So, one thing I found is that most people, I'm not saying you all, but most people will spend money on things that aren't quite as necessary in life before they spend money on things that will actually allow them to live a healthier life. And unfortunately, that's kind of how life is geared and it's kind of twisted that way. So my answer would be buy juice, find a friend that does it. Say, hey man, I know you juice anyway. Let me buy the stuff for you. I'll buy all the stuff if you do the juicing. You know, Prep, make some plans like that. That's what I would do. Okay, hopefully that made sense and share it a little, put a little light on some things. But I do appreciate that. Troy, you got something else?
No, thanks. That helped a lot. Thank you.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, anyone else?
Denise.
Hey, Denise, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good, good. Good to hear your voice.
Likewise. My basic, I'm gonna be starting out back at zero. Basically, I had lost weight and gained it back this last year. It was unfortunate, so I'm gonna start again. My thing is, I've tried several things. When I was on the vegan diet, I guess the portions were rather incorrect or not, but I would actually end up gaining weight with vegan. And then I was reading up, I don't know if you ever read it, it was a starch solution. It's kind of the same business because they do a 50-50 plate of starches and vegetables. And unfortunately, the only thing that works for me to lose weight has always been like low carb or keto oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when I did that about a year and a half ago, I did lose weight, but my cholesterol shot up because of the turkeys and like those type of meats.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I'm at a loss sometimes because I feel like maybe should I start at a point where I can lose the weight and then switch over to something sustainable, because I know this isn't sustainable to not have starches or whatnot. Or I don't know if I should just be patient and wait it out and see if that works.
Okay, okay. I'm listening. I'm kind of thinking about what you said, and one, we always want to take our health, because I heard something about health, cholesterol, et cetera, or something like that. We always want to take that into consideration, even to the point of maybe consulting a physician, which I am not. But I will tell you this: eating clean, there is no doctor that is going to say don't eat clean. By clean, clean is going to be, even if you're doing meat and vegetables, but what meats am I eating? See, am I eating processed meats or am I eating whole foods? See, that's going to be a huge deal. So even if I'm doing meat and vegetables, I can do whole food when it comes to meat. Chicken breast, chicken on the bone, things of that nature, even your steaks and other stuff, things that are not processed.
Okay.
And fish, ocean fish is going to be across the board the best thing when it comes to protein, your omega fatty acids that you need, and there's something else that I'm missing. Digestion, everything that's going to kind of be top tier, unless of course you're allergic or other issues or something. But I'm not really touching on that right now. But that's going to be your best thing. Now you're saying about sustainable. We have to look at it this way. Number one, anything is sustainable if we want it to be, but a healthy, rounded diet is really what's best. And that's going to be a little bit of grain, a little bit of, a little bit of meat, higher green vegetables on the plate, but there's nothing wrong with a good bread or good rice or something like that, but we want to minimize those things. Now, if I'm in the mindset of hardcore training, I'm definitely going to pull way back on this stuff because I'm on a mission. See, this isn't just like, I'm just kind of now I'm back to exercising and keeping my weight where it is and fine tuning some things. This is like I'm on a mission and I'm trying to get to this weight, look this way, do these things. Okay, well, no, my dietary plan is completely different than I'm eating as clean as possible and I'm checking on how many calories am I taking in? Because if I don't have a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it doesn't work that way. So it does matter what I eat, but it's going to continue to matter on how much I eat as well. So let's talk in more detail. You can call me. Let's talk in more detail. We'll get something situated for you that's sustainable in general for now. And it's also depending on what am I truly willing to do. The better I eat, the cleaner I eat, then the more likely I am to see a higher measure of success. I want to be a Lamborghini or Ferrari. Well, you have to stop putting unleaded 87 octane in your tank.
Okay.
You see? Yeah. So that's going to be a huge deal. Okay. But yeah, in detail, yeah, just call me and we'll definitely get some things worked out. That's not a problem.
All right. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. What do we have here? What's next? What's next on the agenda? Concerns, plateaus.
SMR, you had unmuted for a second and you saw other people raise their hand. Did you still have a question that you had?
Me?
Yeah, I had saw that you had unmuted for a second.
Yes. And well, I didn't. It was a mistake. Hello, everybody. But I do have a question anyway. I do have a question. So it might sound like a big question, but what do you do or what do you suggest if you're not used to eating healthy and you're starting to grow on that again, but you don't want to quit the world? You still want to have fun with the friends or go out eating or, just be social person. And not everyone is on the same eating habit as you're trying to be. What do you suggest?
Okay. Again, no, that's an excellent question. That's a huge question, So, and hey, it's Isamar, how are you doing? It's different strokes for different folks. I'm going to run through various scenarios on this. Okay. Number one, self-control. Tell yourself no. Don't go out as much. If this is part of it. If I know that I'm kind of weak when it comes to that food, I need to not put myself in scenarios and put myself to the test like I'm just going to survive this each time, and I'm not. So I have to tell myself no, maybe not go sometime. Other options to say, you know what? I've changed the way I'm eating. I'm eating clean. I'll make this my cheat meal. But I'm not going to go extreme. I'll make this my cheat meal, though, where I can kind of go off topic and eat kind of what I want to for this meal. Not the whole day, for that meal. And that constitutes clean eating throughout that week. And this wouldn't be a habit that I would form like, oh, you know what? I ate clean Monday through Thursday. So Friday and Saturday, when I go out with Isamar, then I'm going wild. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. My body isn't going to respond well. It's just that simple. It's still going to boil down to self-control. Also finding those like-minded people, friends, associates, other things in which it's like, okay, hey, you don't get the funny look when you get the salad with the by itself or with the steak on top of this and this, and we're at a Mexican restaurant. Everybody else is getting enchiladas and this and other things, and everybody's looking like, oh, well, you're not going to eat anything else. That's all you want. And sometimes that can be discouraging. It can. So we have to, one, just kind of say to ourselves, this is my mission. I can't expect anyone else to like go on this mission with me. This is for me. This is my life. And these are the decisions that I make, So go in there with that, but also we're not going to put ourselves in bad scenarios. We're going to plan. We're not going to freestyle. We're going to plan. Okay, I ate all these different meals for the last 2 weeks or last 30 days. I want a cheat day. Now I'm going to plan for that. It's not going to be something where I just say, oh, just out the blue and I just do it. We want to make plans. It's okay that you want to have, half a pizza. Wait 30 days or so and go get you a couple of slices. And try to circle that around those friends that love to eat. Circle that event around them. So now you kind of killing a couple of birds with one stone. I get to eat, I get to hang out with those particular groups of people who are not on the same plan that I'm on. These are just some things that I have done and I do. Everything that I'm telling you all are things that some of you have heard before, things I do all the time, things that I continue to do, things that I talk to others about, and they do work if we make them work. Let's see about I'm not paying attention to the time. Okay.
Yeah, so let's take one more question from Noemi, and then we'll go into my section, and then after that we'll open it back up for questions again to either of us.
Okay.
What would you say is the best way to track progress? Sometimes I tend to lose more inches than what it seems that I've lost weight. So what would you say is the best way?
How you feel. And I know this is going to sound crazy coming from me, but how you feel. How do you feel? Do you feel that you're putting the effort in? Because see, let's take away the scale. Let's take away how the skirt or the vest or the jacket or pants or something fit. Let's take all that off the table, and let's think about how you feel. Can you honestly tell yourself that you are committed and you've been doing your best? That matters more than anything else. If the answer to that is no, then that's the problem. Not the inches, not the scale, not the skirt, not the shirt. That's the answer. Ask yourself in the mirror, am I really committed? Am I doing my best? And we're going to go ahead and go to Sheena, but let me say one thing before we ease off to Sheena, please, which is the last thing, about 60 seconds. Ultimately, we do what we want to do. One is in all capitals, W-A-N-T. We do what we want to do. So if you're not doing things that are conducive to change, then you need to change that. That's how simple it is. We do what we want to do. Always keep that in mind. So you're doing what you want to do. If you're losing weight, that's what you want to do. If you're getting healthier, that's what you want to do. If you are not, then that's really what you want to do, because those are the decisions that you are making. I do appreciate the time. I appreciate everyone. This has been great. And I'm going to sit down now. Tashina, thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
All righty. Thank you. So again, I am Tashina Gonzalez, and I am a holistic wellness coach. I'm certified in numerous different things, but holistic wellness, herbs, mindfulness, self-care, just, I don't know, like 12 different things. So what I try to help people focus on is that there are actually 8 dimensions of wellness. And we talked a lot right now about physical wellness, and that's our healthy eating and our fitness. And I'm not certified in fitness or anything, but I do have a minor certification in hydration and nutrition. And thankfully, our physical fitness is going to greatly help our emotional wellness. But even with all of the changed circumstances that we've gone through recently, those of us like myself that were very dedicated to their physical wellness actually had to make some additional adjustments when we had all these changed circumstances. So I had to put more emphasis on my emotional wellness. And some of the questions that we actually asked and some of the solutions to that fit into another aspect of the 8 dimensions of wellness, which is social wellness. When you talk about accountability and associating with people, and one of the reasons why we do classes like this, that has to do with social wellness. We need to have social interaction with others, and it can have a positive impact on our other areas of wellness. Some of the other areas of wellness include intellectual wellness, occupational wellness, financial wellness, spiritual wellness. And we're not going to get into the majority of those, but I am going to talk about a little bit more on emotional wellness and some things that we can do, as well as environmental wellness. So, one of the other things that I do provide as well when it comes to eating, if anyone has, so I am flexitarian. So I am almost vegan. I eat about 80% plant-based. So most of the time, 3 weeks out of the month, I eat plant-based, but I have a chronic thing that I'm managing, I'm actually thriving with, that requires me to have more iron. And so I eat clean meats when it's the time that my body will need more iron. So I actually had the same issue that was mentioned a little bit ago about not being able to balance my own diet, even though I had all this information about it. I leaned to keto for a while. And then when I did that, I ended up, something was wrong. And I went to my functional medicine doctor, and I ended up leaning towards pre-diabetic, actually. And so they told me to go vegan, and I did that, and I almost died because I didn't realize that my iron was getting so low, and I was using my supplements to just give myself energy. And so I went to the doctor for a normal checkup, and my hemoglobin was 7.1. Like, if I would have went there and said I had an issue, they would have been super, super worried. But I went, had my blood test, and they called me, are like, did you know? And I was like, no, I had no clue. So hence the reason why I'm now flexitarian, and I do incorporate clean meats part of the month. So I actually offer a biometric scan that can be done remotely, and it actually asks your body through biometric feedback what it really needs. And I've been using that for myself for the past 6 or 7 months now. And from the time that I was completely anemic with no iron in my system, now 120 days eating what my body needed, I reversed what was showing as prediabetes, as well as got my iron into normal levels using a couple of liquid supplements in order to boost it that were recommended by my doctor. So that's just a little bit more on the eating style as well. So the other thing that some people don't realize or recognize is the aspect of environmental wellness. So there's a saying that if you're eating everything organic, but you're still rubbing chemicals and toxins in your body, you're doing it wrong. So a lot of the education that I provide to people as well has to do with that environmental wellness. If you've been eating well and you've been exercising and you still have perhaps some mood issues or hormone issues, you really want to look into making sure that you have environmental wellness. And what does that mean? Detoxing your home care and your cleaning products, making sure there's not toxins that will disrupt your hormones or aggravate your respiratory system. Detoxing your personal care, your skincare, and your makeup. So that's another thing that I educate on. The other thing that is extremely important is to minimize your stress and to practice self-care. Many times we can be doing all the right things, but our hormones, like cortisol and other things, are not where they need to be because our stress levels are too high. And so a lot of what I do is help individuals to create a practice of self-care so that they can minimize their stress. So just a few tips of things that we can do. Again, exercise is one of the best things. Making sure that you have a regular 30 minutes exercising every day is super important to minimizing your stress level, and is part of the self-care that everyone needs. Also, just having some mindfulness practices, doing some deep breathing and some pausing, doing writing. So one of the things, I actually had a trauma writing class, and one of the things that I've incorporated is when I'm feeling stressed, just grabbing my cell phone and going in my notes section for 2 minutes and writing why that person irritated me or what I'm feeling. And it's amazing how just that 2 minutes of refocusing yourself can help. Time management strategies. We all talked about, a lot of us are very, very busy, and sometimes we create that, right? I'm not a morning person. When people say you can be a morning, I will never be a morning person. I'm a productive person and I wake up early, but I'm not a morning person. But sometimes I can stretch that out and create my own stress. So making sure we have those time management strategies. What was already mentioned, I'm the same way. I meal prep all the time. That's the way that I eat healthy. I do a lot like on the weekends to carry me through half the week. And I'm also one that will just buy my juices if I don't have time to do all 3 or 4 days of juices over the weekend. And then holistic therapies we are so amazingly, wonderfully made. And we can reduce our own stress levels by using our senses. We can use aromatherapy and use our sense of smell. We can use art therapy and use our sense of sight. We can use sound therapy or just even listening to relaxing music, just creating the habit in the morning of listening to something positive. And we can use touch therapy. And I incorporate all of those with my clients. Something super easy to do, especially when the weather is good, time in nature or with animals. There's also herbal teas or supplements that we can do. And then I have a few courses that'll walk you through some of these things. So that is what I wanted to quickly share with you all. And with that, we can go back to our questions. So if anyone has any questions for me, or if we had any additional questions for Joseph. Gallery view. Noemi?
I have problems with my hormones. So I know that sometimes I was told a lot of times by somebody who I see to stay away from meats that have hormones and such. What other things would you suggest that I do?
So the first thing that you need to know which hormones are out of balance. So are you working currently with a doctor that are giving you those hormone levels?
All of them are out of balance. Yeah, all of them are out of balance. It's an issue that I have that, not to get into my medical,
Yep.
but all of them are whack.
Got it. And I understand that, like, I was devastated. I'm telling you, I was devastated last November when I went to my functional doctor and I was like, have you ever seen this before? Like, why is everything, like, how can I be, But honestly, I would need to probably like meet with you to get details, to give all the details, but obviously avoiding any processed food, any sugars. Like I don't have any sugar like whatsoever. Minimizing your salt, all of those basic things are going to be super important, as well as minimizing meat as much as possible. Again, I'm almost vegan. I do my hematologist said you have to eat meat. Like you have to eat meat the way that your hormone issues are. So I eat only clean meat 1 week out of the month when my body's going to need that iron.
Okay. Well, I'll exchange my information with you later.
Joseph, you would like to add on to that?
No, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think Shirley had her hand up first, though.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, that's me. So the question that I have is, how do you keep from getting so discouraged after an injury if you've been working out?
Well, after you've worked out and you have an injury, I've been through that before as well. So I think working with someone like Joseph who can modify for you when you're coming back, definitely working with an expert when it comes to fitness that can give you a specialized plan for you, and just going slow and making sure that you use, like he said, the most important thing, we get discouraged because we get injured, we get off track, we gain weight, now we can't do what we knew what to do before, and now we don't know what to do. But the reality is My course that I have that I got this information is called Vigor and Vitality, living well holistically. The first and most important indication, like Joseph said, is, are you living with energy? Like, how do you feel? Are you living with less inflammation? Are you living with less stress in your life? And then if that is on the deck, just be patient when it comes to the other stuff, when it comes to losing all that weight because you didn't exercise for 6 months, and to the getting those clothes to fit. That really is just a byproduct of making sure that your body functions well. Joseph.
All right, so now I do have something to add. All right, so everything that Tashina said, I completely agree with, and she touched on one thing that's a huge deal, slightly, acceptance. Now, the training and the eating and all these other things, these are things that we can do, but most of this stuff is up here. And if I accept truly where I am, that I hurt my back and I've gained 30 pounds and these other things that come with this, I have to focus on that first, on accepting where I am, and it's okay. And I have to, and that's something that I can't do once. I have to do that all throughout the day, the next day, the next day, the next day. Acceptance. And going deeper into that on how to do that, well, most of us here know different ways to work on those things, but acceptance is going to be a huge deal.
Okay, and Joseph, you said you had
Oh yeah, I had a good, absolutely. So, Tashina,
yes.
Where do I start? I'm just saying I'm me. I'm actually me in this scenario. I'm a client, and I'm saying, Tashina, I want to start, using whatever you have to offer. What would you say to me? Where do I start? Where do I start as a person? What do I do? What are you going to help me with?
So I would want to know, what are your goals first and foremost? So if we're just talking about general stress level, the first place to start is with cultivating awareness or consciousness. So one of the first things to do is to simply put a 5-minute reminder on your calendar in the morning, at lunchtime, and when you finish work, and do some deep breathing, like to pause during your day and to relax your mind for a few seconds. And from there, we can build on that, right? If we want to add on your favorite, like one of the things that I do is I have a pick me up song before I start work. Like I do something hype, and that's how I start work. If you want a relaxing one, if you have a really high anxiety level and your work is stressing you out, we could suggest some essential oil blends, or we could suggest some teas. So we build from there. But the very first step is to just pause, because we're not doing that, to pause and create some awareness and consciousness. And I've done lunch and learns at my day job, where I walk them through a 30-minute session of mindfulness, and like just teaching them the deep breathing. Like I've had directors come back to me and be like, I've been doing that 3 times a day, like you said, and I have such less stress.
Okay, very nice. I appreciate that.
Any other questions? Marvella?
And you mentioned, if I heard correctly, that you majored also in hydration. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I have a certification. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a physician, but I do have certifications that I've taken.
Okay.
So in nutrition and hydration.
I'd like to know your take on alkaline water.
So I drink some alkaline water. It honestly is another thing that you really should ask your body, whether your body is acidic or whether it's alkalinized. And there's ways to figure that out. For me, I do drink alkaline water and purified water. I don't drink 100% alkaline water. It's not good for your body to be completely alkalinized. So I do a combination of both personally for me, and my body stays pretty in the alkaline state. It doesn't, in fact, my body asks for more acid. My body actually asks me to take apple cider vinegar on a daily basis. So it's very individual. When it comes to almost everything, nutrition and hydration, I love the tool that we have to just ask your body what it needs. Because again, everybody goes keto and then it works for 70% of people, and then it really screws up 30% of people. And then everyone goes vegan, and then you're like me and you almost die. So like you really just need to ask your body what it needs. And that starts with a trip to your doctor. Like that starts with a trip to your doctor and your doctor giving you your blood work. And sometimes they don't give you all, and knowing what your mineral levels are and all that. And then getting with a professional that either has an additional tool to help you analyze that, or can give you very specific directions for yourself. If that makes sense. Isamar?
Yes. I know, and as you said, as a holistic approach, you work at different aspects of health, including emotions, physical, is it workout or eating? So what if you need to work on different aspects to get an overall healthy body and mind? Do you work with all of them a little bit at the same time, or would you suggest to
Yeah, I work with all of it a little bit. So like, but I'm not, so, the only thing I do with people is I do check-ins with because I'm not I can't create a fitness program for you. I can't run a fitness program. That's why I collaborate with people like Joseph, right? Like I work out on my own every day, and I do strength training, and I have all the stuff in my house, and that works for me. But some people need accountability. So if you were working with me, what I would do, I'd be like, did you work out today? Okay. Did you work out today? Like I would provide the accountability, but I wouldn't create that plan for you. But when it comes to nutrition, again, I have a tool that can do that. And with me, it's just how detailed that you need it. Like I had a client and I ran her scan, and I was like, sweetie, you're not eating no real food, are you? Like I could tell all you do is eat fast food all day, right? So I had to give her a whole full grocery list, right? And I had to tell her, like I had to give her all the details. So it just depends what the needs are when it comes to what I can do for nutrition. And again, if anything is outside of my scope, if like you have I know I don't know if we're all Jehovah's Witnesses here, but I do know a Jehovah's Witness that is a therapist. So if your emotional issues are beyond my scope, then I'm going to let you know and refer you to the person that can do that. My sister's on here, and she is an esthetician, so I can help you detox your makeup and skincare. But if you have a serious issue, I can direct you to my sister that can help you. So one of my goals is to be the go-to person, and that again, that's why I like to do these collaborations, and I like to know as many experts as possible, because I definitely can't do everything, but I try to have some information and a resource in all of those areas. I know several financial planners. Like I try to have resources for you to work on those things one by one and get what you need. Lori?
I've heard you guys mention essential oils like twice already, and I don't know enough about them. I've heard people talk about them in the past. Like what are the pros and cons to being involved with something like that? And like, how does it benefit you?
So I can send you an article that we have that's on our sense of smell, and that will get into all of and this is an article from the society that talks about our sense of smell and what it does for you. And it'll get into the science and all of that good stuff. But it's a concentrated form of a plant. That's what it is. And so they can be used for physical wellness. They can be used for emotional wellness. They can be used for mental wellness. And when it comes to the level of stress and some people anxiety that people are under, I'm finding that there's some people that say, I tried deep breathing and it doesn't work for me. Or I've tried this thing. And what I will tell them is we'll try stacking different relaxation modalities. Try using essential oils with the deep breathing, because that's going to actually give it more or use touch therapy with it. When you stack modalities, you can release your stress faster. And the thing with using specifically aromatherapy, it actually hits your limbic system, which is where your emotions are. There's no way to like overthink it. It will affect your emotions if you use aromatherapy. And the article that I have that I can send to anyone explains those details. Ebony?
Hi. I wanted to know, as far as the scan goes, would you be able to tell me, like as a female and someone with my age and all of that, like what vitamins and things like that I would need or that I'm lacking?
It's going to make some suggestions. Yes, it will make some suggestions. And so I partner with a company that provides a lot of the things. And so it's going to make suggestions based on that company. But when I give you the notes, that doesn't mean you have to buy them from that company, right? So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at your food and I'm going to say, oh, it suggested macadamia nuts, it suggested pumpkin seeds, and it suggested this. And I'm going to say, well, that means that she either needs more omegas or she needs more fiber because all of those have that in that. And then I may see that it suggested a supplement for omegas, right? But my first step for you would be, okay, are you eating tree nuts every single week? And most of the time people, or I'll see, it says that and they'll see a bunch of fish and most people will tell me no. So my first order of action before we talk about supplements is to make sure that you fix your diet the way that it's supposed to be for 3 months. And then if we need supplements, then we can talk about supplements. But there are certain things that you should do for your immune system immediately, right? We all know that a lot of us on here are probably deficient in vitamin D, and vitamin C is very essential for the season that we're coming in. So like if it recommended that, like I was told by my functional doctor, I needed to like triple my vitamin D based on what she was saying. So there may be a couple supplements, yes, but yes, the scan that I have it'll tell me if you're not eating enough protein. It'll tell me if you're deficient in certain vitamins, and it'll tell me the best way that you need to eat. And again, we start with the food. Food is medicine. That's the way to go. I unfortunately am one of the people that Joseph was talking about that I have a lot of allergies. I'm allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to tree nuts. I'm allergic to coconut. I'm allergic to seafood. So I'm a person that unfortunately has to take a few more supplements than the average person, but it will tell me that for sure.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
just want to throw in there, again, agreeing with everything Tashina said. Again, that the dietary plan is huge. If you notice, like a lot of y'all have talked to me or trained with me or something, you notice I don't push on y'all or even discuss really with y'all at all. Maybe when you get on down the line, supplements. My whole thing is we need to learn how to eat. We need to learn how to eat healthy meals, when to eat, how to eat. These are the things because our foods and vegetables, all these different things really do, they have what we need. We just have to learn when and how much. Then on top of that, like she said, sometimes we may need a supplement or something else, and then depending on what kind of training on down the line, maybe some things are needed. But firstly and always, dietary plan.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Any last questions before we wrap this up? So, you guys know you can save the chat, right? If you hit the 3 dots. So for Joseph's part, I actually wrote out the question and I wrote down the answer. So if anyone didn't want to take notes, I put that in there for you guys if you want to save the chat. And then you would also have our information. I put my phone number so you guys can send me a text message. I have a video on the scan that I do. I also have a video on exactly what I do, so you guys have clarity that I'm not a therapist and I'm not a doctor whatsoever, but some of the services that I provide that I can send, that video is only 6 minutes, and then you guys can say, oh yeah, okay, I think I need to contact her based on what she offers.
Tashina, did you get a chance to put your Instagram?
My Instagram
Yeah,
and my,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
it's at the top. Yep.
Don't forget free stuff.
Yes, free stuff. We're offering giveaways, so
Yeah, coming your way. So again, we'll look for that, and I'll try to get things situated so that way I'll look for like comments and other stuff tomorrow and do the raffle, and then relatively quickly you'll be contacted.
yep. Well, all right. And if you, I will provide the replay as well of this to Joseph. So if you were invited by him, he can give that to you. And for those that RSVP'd on Facebook, the replay will be there as well. All right. Thank you guys so much, and have an amazing night.
Thank you. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph and Tashina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the
Bye.
information.
Good to see everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tashina.
Have a great evening.
Okay, y'all too. Thank you, Joseph.
All right, thank
Thank
you all.
you, Joseph.
Thank you very much. Good to
Bye,
see you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.